a reel and just post it because I have a lot of reels that my marketing team does for me, and I have quite a few that I love. But I'm driving down, from where I live, and it's a steep hill. So as I'm coming down, I get a neighbor that's walking his dog, and I could tell that he's really wealthy. He seems very happy, and it's the life I want to live. I think he was maybe in his 60s, more or less. I could be off by a few years, but he looked really happy. He looked at peace. He is walking his dog. He's not stressed out. He's relaxed, and he has a lot of money, I'm sure. So he sees me as I'm bringing down the car, and I'm struggling because this car is really, really low. So this car is super low, and every time I bring it down, it scrapes just a little bit, and I can't help it. Like, I lift the car, it has a lifter, so I lift the car, and I also, besides lifting it, I also curve it down the hill so that I don't get, so I don't scrape it more. So let me just let this car that's in a hurry. So he's just right behind me tailgating. So I see this neighbor, right? And this neighbor, he's somebody that I just look at. I just met him, by the way, and I'm like, I want to be like this guy. When I'm at this age, I want to be walking my dog here in Bel Air, and I want to have this life. So, long story short, he sees me coming down, and he starts helping me out. Like, hey, you know what? Spin it a little bit more this way, and oh, you're fine. And then my car scrapes a little bit, like just a little bit. And this guy, he makes this face like, ugh. And it's funny because I roll my window down when I finally get down, and I tell him, you know what? You just have to deal with it. It's gonna scrape a little bit every time you come up and down, because this car's just way too low, and it's not the most favorable hill that you're gonna go down, so the driveway. So I'm like, I just can't help it. Now, having said that, all this about true happiness, about this guy that I want to be like, it reminds me of relationships. Why relationships are so important. Okay? I have created the most powerful relationships because of where I live. Because of where I live at the previous times, at the current time, the environments I've been part of, the seminars I've been to, the networking events I've been to, and all that stuff. So that's where I've met all these relationships. They're fixing here Bel Air, and the roads are really bad. So all these relationships that I've met that have led from one relationship to the next relationship and to the next relationship. And because of these relationships, it's almost like a shortcut. What do I mean by a shortcut? By a shortcut, I mean that when you have powerful relationships, they introduce you to a connection, and then this connection helps you get to where you want to get easy. And I talk a lot about burning your bridges. So what happens is, when you burn your bridges, a relationship that introduced you to all the other relationships is going to cut you. And what I mean by that is, when they cut you, now all the other people, all the other relationships you met through one relationship that are really close, they're really good friends, they're all going to cut you. So you're just going to burn your bridge, and not just with like, for example, me or whoever introduced you, but you're going to burn your bridge with everybody else that was part of that circle. Because obviously these people are going to prefer me or prefer whoever introduced you to them. So you're going to pretty much put yourself in a bad spot. You don't want to do that. Now, relationships are really important. keep in mind, guys, that I am freestyling this. I'm just talking from my head, whatever's on my mind. So it's not structured. I might forget a few things, but I try not to. So relationships, number one. Number two is creating a brand. Before you start a business, or before you start anything that has to do with sales, you gotta have a brand. Your brand is gonna be your number one asset. The more popular your brand is, the easier it is gonna be for you to sell, recruit. All of that is selling. Recruiting is selling, selling is selling, and it kind of relates to each other, because relationships and having a powerful brand go neck and neck. Now, two things that I have done really well in life, in business, have been creating my brand and building the most powerful relationships. And the way I did that was because I put myself in the best environments. What do you mean by that, Albert? Okay, so when I was starting, I told Syl, hey, you know what? Let's move to West Hollywood, 90069 zip code, because this is one of the best zip codes, and this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be around people. This is where I want to be recognized. This is where I want to tell people that I live. And all we could afford at the time was a $1,500 a month lease. $1,500 a month that we paid. And this was by Earth Cafe over there, like by La Cienega and what's that street? La Cienega and Santa Monica, around there. So that used to be my neighborhood, and it was a 1-bedroom apartment. It was a 5-unit property, and I lived in one of the units. It was one of the condos, and I lived there, $1,500 a month. But I put myself in the right zip code, 90069, which put me in the right environment, in a better environment than where I was. And then from there, we used to walk to Equinox sometimes, walk to the gym. We used to drive to the gym. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, I need to make some more noise. What do I do? So then I went ahead and I got a Maserati. So I got a Maserati, pre-owned Maserati Quattroporte. This is before Maserati came out with Ghiblis and all the other models they came out with. So the Quattroporte back then was like a big deal. It was like something better than the S-Class Mercedes or a 7 Series BMW. So I got that car, and you know, I was the only one with that kind of car in that neighborhood, because it was more of a apartment living area. So I get that car, I live there, and I start going to Equinox, right? I had been going to Equinox, but I used to drive from far away. But I'm going to Equinox. I live in West Hollywood now, 90069. And then one day, this one Syl took a break from drinking. So she wasn't drinking for a year. She took a year off from drinking. And I would drink. I would be good, you know, the entire week. And then like Friday, I would pop a bottle of champagne. You guys know how much I like champagne. I would start drinking champagne. She would get ready. We would go have a dinner night. And, you know, 2-3 champagne glasses in, I start thinking about an idea. And everything in life starts with an idea. So I start thinking about this idea, and I'm like, you know what? I am going to look for a better environment. So I get on the MLS. MLS is where you search homes. If you're a real estate agent, you got a license, you could have access to the MLS. So I get on it. I'm licensed, so I get on it, and I start looking at leases. And I find this place called Shoreham Towers, and I get to Shoreham Towers. You know, we ended up moving in there, but I found this property, this unit. I believe it was unit 701. 701. It was either 701 or 707, something like this, like that, because we lived in both. One was a 1-bedroom, but then we upgraded to a 2nd bedroom. So the first one was a 1-bedroom. So we move in there. And our agent was Jason Jason Oppenheim. A lot of you guys know him from Selling Sunset. So I do know Jason Oppenheim. So we find this property, you know, and we move in, and all of a sudden we're paying $5,000 a month from $1,500. But it all started from that idea after the 3rd glass of champagne, still showering, getting ready for dinner. And I told her, hey, what if we move in here? What if we just go check it out? And she's like, 5,000 a month. And she's acting like it's a lot of money. And I tell her, well, let's go check it out. Let's just go check it out. We don't have to commit. Let's just go check it out. And, you know, 5,000 a month in that time probably would have put us out of business, because that was more than what we were making. We were like barely surviving. So we go check out the house, and there's just one thing, you know, one thing that happens when you put yourself and you force yourself to pay more. When you force yourself to require more, you always find a way and figure it out how to require more from yourself. And you always exceed that, and you get better, and then you find out, man, you know what, I can do more. So we moved into the Shorthand Towers. We created more relationships there. Then we end up moving to 10,000, where we pay 20 grand a month. Then we end up getting an office here at Sunset Plaza that we pay 100 grand a month. And on and on and on. We end up moving to Bel Air, and you know, the whole purpose of this is the relationships that you meet. And then when you collaborate with the relationships, you start creating your brand. And to create a powerful brand takes a long time. To create powerful relationships takes a long time. So when you have that, your business right now in today's time, because right now we're going through a market shift, we're going through a correction, we're going through a recession, we're going through times that are going to be very, very tough, very ugly, very stressful for a lot of people that are not prepared. For people like myself and a few others, you know, it's gonna be like a game of ping pong. Look at it like a game of ping pong. It's gonna be so easy, so fun, and we're gonna have so many opportunities with everyone that's part of our circle, everybody that's part of our organizations. Everybody's gonna win big, because, you know, the right leadership is here, the right relationships are here. We created the right brand. So everybody that's falling off, we're gonna have so much more business, you know. So it's really exciting, because in moments like this, most people contract, we expand. So super excited about this, and I just can't stress more how important it is to have powerful relationships, and how important it is to create a powerful brand. If you're just getting started right now in these times, and you're barely trying to figure out your brand, you're barely trying to start a business, it's gonna be very scary moments for you. Now, for those that are part of a powerful circle, that do have the right leadership, these are gonna be the most exciting times of your life. These are gonna be the most wealth creating times of your life. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to hear about all these success stories from these limited amount of people that are gonna grow big and that are gonna make a lot of noise in the next years to come. Much love. Hopefully you guys like this. If you do, please comment, like, and let me know, what do you want me to talk about next? I have a lot of things that I could share about my success at 39 years old, but I want to know what you want to know. You know, I want to know, how can I help you? One of my biggest ways of giving back is to just giving you information that has helped me, information that's going to save you millions of dollars that I lost by making the wrong decision. So I want to help you guys. Comment below, what do you want me to cover next? As I said, this is just a freestyle video. This is just everything coming from here and from my heart, because I want to help you guys. Let me know, and much love.